boys, happy hour is from 4 to 6.
Miss Kennedy, would you get me a medium dry vodka martini?
What is
Shaken, not stirred.
Hold on. I'm not hearing it right. Hold on. We got it now.
Is there alcohol in this?
Oh, God, honey, no. What kind of mother do you think I am? Why do you want a little bit? Because if you're going to drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Make it Sory Time.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope everyone can hear me. I had some technical issues, as always, but I think we're all good now. Today at 5 p.m., I have a guest I'm really excited to have on. His name is the FilmDrunk, and I found his channel, I would say maybe probably like 9 months ago. I feel like I found a lot of YouTubers that I like to watch film-wise around that era. And maybe it was like Oscar season last year. I think maybe it was around that, actually. Anyway, he did great Oscar coverage. I really had a really nice time watching his videos. And I'm really excited that he decided to come on. He is having some Wi-Fi issues. He just got in touch with me, but he is in touch with the company, and hopefully that'll work out. I told him no rush because it's chill. It's happy hour. How is everyone doing today? I wanted to talk about, I have quite a few things to talk about, actually. I finally caught up on some movies because I hadn't been to the theater in quite a bit. So I finally saw, I'm going to bring this up, actually. Let's see. I finally saw, we're going to talk about that later. Sorry, I just saw something that I had waiting to discuss. So here we go. I'll bring my Letterboxd up. Keep pressing settings. Let's get it together here. Get it together. Okay, so we've got, okay. Here we are. This is my what I watched in October list. So recently I finally saw X, Saw 10, and I saw The Creator. The Creator, I really don't need to go much into this fully because I feel like everything you've heard about it is how I felt about it as well. It's absolutely gorgeous, you know, as really a master in filmmaking as far as visuals go. And there were moments of greatness in it, but it just, there were certain points, especially in the second act, where I was just incredibly bored. And it was really hard to stick with it. And I think that just attributes issues with the script in general. It felt very shallow. So, but in general, I thought the acting was quite good. John David Washington, Denzel's son, I enjoyed him more in this than I have in quite a while. The last thing I really liked him in was the Black Klansman, Spike Lee's film, and I thought he did a really great job here. He was much more charismatic than he's been in quite a few things. He felt more alive, and I thought his acting has improved tremendously. The little kid, I have to say this about The Creator. Every time that little kid, that little girl does this, like to make something happen, I thought it was the cutest thing ever. And there's one point, I think, in the beginning of the third act or within that time frame, and you like really need something to fix the issue, and all of a sudden you see that kid just about to do this, and you're like, yes. You know, I mean, I think again, there were parts of it that I really enjoyed, but it was just it just had a lot of problems, which is really a shame because my goodness, there's so much to praise and so much to not praise equally. So that I just wanted to get out of the way. I know that movie came out quite a bit ago, but I finally saw it. And then I want to go into Saw 10 because Saw 10 I did enjoy it a lot, and I really liked the backstory, or not the backstory, but the whole, where Jigsaw is in this point in time. And I gotta say though, so there's like some really gory moments. If you've seen it, the entire time I was sitting next to a 9-year-old. Like, this kid must have been 8 or 9. I can't even, maybe he was even younger. And I'm telling you, just loving it. Like, loving it the whole, there were certain, like, if you've seen it, once the game begins, anytime something was going on, I just kept like looking over to the left because I wanted to see his reaction. So I was like, oh my God, this is like really violent and gory and like traumatic. And he's just like chilling with his popcorn, like loving the whole thing. So I was like, wow, okay. If I saw this when I was 8 or 9, I would need tremendous amounts of therapy to get over what I was viewing. It reminds me of Moist Critical just put out a video today. Some teacher in Miami played the Love and Honey, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, not Love and Honey, Blood and Honey, to like 4th graders. And there was such a backlash. Like, I'm like, of course, why would you ever play that? That's really bad. So, but yes, so that's kind of like what I wanted to catch up on with you guys about the current things I've seen in theaters. I did not see the Taylor Swift tour, but that brings me to my next thing I wanted to show you guys, because I think it's just absolutely hilarious. Let's see here. I have so many windows open today because I wanted to like continue to show my screen on things. And then I'm going to show you one more thing, and then we'll get into the chat, and then we'll get back into the other things. There's just so much to talk about today. So that's really why I haven't gone to the chat yet, but I promise I will. So if I can do this, there's not, like, I need to navigate this sharing of the screen a lot easier because I know there's better ways to do it. But anyway, you guys have to watch this because this is what's going on if you go see Taylor Swift at a movie theater. Like, it's the funniest thing. Yeah, this whole circle that's going on is cracking me. And they're all just talking and going around in the circle, and they get friendship bracelets. So yeah, so Max found that the other day on Twitter. He was like, "You have no idea what's going on at the Taylor Swift concert," and he showed that to me, and I like laughed for a good 20 minutes, like teary-eyed, and then I realized like it's honestly like the cutest thing ever. Like, it really is. Like, there's so much horrible stuff going on in the world all the time, and just to see these little girls having like the best time, like these are all strangers. They all were partying during the concert, and then the credits come up and they all go to the front and do a little circle of like friendship. I mean, it just doesn't get cuter than that. So I had to bring that up because I do, first of all, think it is just absolutely hilarious. But it is also really, really just so cute. So now, without further ado, I will get back to the chat here. Or I'll at least start the chat since I have not yet done that. Dementia and Scott, thank you for stopping by. I hope you're doing having a lovely day on this happy hour. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone's spooky season has been awesome, by the way. That's very important. I'd love to hear what else you want to see, what you've seen. So, I'd love to see that. Luke, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm going to be on Luke's channel next Wednesday, celebrating his 500 subscribers. So congratulations, Luke. That's really incredible. What's going on, Tracy? Hope you're well. I just saw Dumb Money and I absolutely loved it. Yeah, I need to see it. So I need to see how it changed from when I saw it. So I'm really glad you liked it. It's a shame no one's going out of their way to see that movie. Because even when I saw it, when it wasn't finished, it was quite good. So, and I think the story is really fun. I like movies like that though, where it's like the little guy takes down the stock market, Or I guess I should say anything, even if it's a villain taking over the stock market, like Wolf of Wall Street. I love that. So, yeah, I guess I like stock market movies, which is funny because I know nothing about the stock market. Like, I'm the worst person. It's something that, like, down the line I really want to get into and actually, like, invest in things like that. But I really have no idea what any of it means. So that's maybe why I like watching stock market movies. Hello, Drew. What's going on? Good news. Got my Wolverine Halloween costume. There's a picture of me in the costume on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram and Facebook. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm still debating what I'm going to do / what Max and I are going to do for Halloween. We really want to do Chucky and Bride of Chucky. That's always been on the table. We thought about doing Barbenheimer because we didn't dress up when we saw it, and I thought that would be a great Halloween costume. But I'm not sure. I also I've always wanted to do Zatanna, because I think that that's one of the coolest comic book women, and I really like her outfit. So, but we'll see what happens. I still have a little bit of time. Hello, Nicholas, Nick Math. Thanks for stopping by. Watched Love and Mercy. It was a great. Oh, I really liked Love and Mercy. Yeah, that's the Beach Boys film. Yeah, I thought both Paul Dano and John Cusack did an excellent job playing. Oh my God, I'm blanking out on his name. Brian. I want to say Brian Williams. I think that's completely wrong. Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. The lead of the Beach Boys. I don't know why I'm blanking. I know who it is. But yeah, great choice of a biopic. Really surprised me. Unfriended recently is a pretty good horror movie. I have not seen it, so that's if you recommend it, that's cool. I'll definitely check that one out. Maxfield, hey to you cool people, happy spooky season. Yes, we are definitely fully entrenched in spooky season, that's for sure. That 9-year-old and saw, again, this kid sitting next to us was just a trip. He had the best time. I mean, there were certain things like with I'm not going to go into spoilers, but the brain part, I was like, just, oh my God, like that was, whew. It made me really contemplate what I would do in that situation. And I don't know if I would go, I don't know if I could do that one. I think I would probably just be like, nope, you can just kill me at that point. Because I don't think I'm going to put myself through that. Because, whew, that was rough. Oh my goodness, my cat just knocked something over. So hold on one moment. Yeah, hold on one second. Okay, I think we're good. Whoop, no, we're not. Sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. My cat just loves to destroy this. I'm going to go back into the chat while I'm literally holding up my camera with this right now, but I don't want to play the intro video again because it's long and I don't want to interrupt the flow of this. So I'm going to just hold it for now until I figure out a solution. Actually, maybe I could do this. Nope, that's not working either. This is ridiculous. Okay, well, I'm going to just get back to this here. I have several questions for the parents of the kid that saw that. I know, I couldn't believe it. And it was a family. It was like a mom, a teenage girl, and their son. And he was just yeah, it was ridiculous. Taylor Swift is mid. Well, I'm not necessarily, I don't listen to her music daily or anything like that. But I'm just happy that people are having a fun time at the theater. And I think that more artists should be doing concerts in movie theaters. I think that would solve a lot of issues for financially for the movie theaters, that's for sure. AMC is making a lot of money off of this. So yeah, I think that more concerts should be available to the public because there's no way I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to go to concerts. I just can't do it. So if I could see them in the movie theater, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You would slay as Zatanna, get Max to be Zatara, or is that creepy? I don't know who Zatara is because I'm yeah, but that sounds awesome. I'm gonna look that one up. Let's see here. Paul Dano and oh, nice. Thanks for stopping by, Typhon. Thank you very much. I know you are frequently on the Bone Butchers live stream that I show up on, so thank you. I know you were talking here too about the kid at Saw. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Paul Dano and John Cusack did a great job as 1960s and 1980s. Brian Wilson. Yeah, I said Brian Williams. That's the news anchor. But thank you very much for clarifying. Just saw Infinity Pool. Mia Goth is a bona fide scream queen. I agree. She's killing it. She's absolutely killing it right now. Literally. What a crazy movie. I would love to see her branch out, as you mentioned last week. Looking forward to her in Maxine. I am really looking forward to Maxine. I still have to see Pearl, actually. I'm going to be watching that this week or next week before spooky season's over. But yeah, I'm really excited for Maxine. And Mia Goth is absolutely a star. Hey, Tales from the Shelf. Thanks for stopping by. I got to get him on the channel at some point. I think we tried to arrange that, but I'm not positive. I think he had to work. And Laren's here. Yeah, everyone's chilling. Okay, cool. So while I'm still holding up my camera, I'm going to go on to the next thing that I have to talk about. So last night I watched Little Monsters. It was a rewatch on my end. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and that's a very it's a really effed up movie for a lot of reasons, but I had a good time with it, and Howie Mandel's great. My thing I wanted to bring up was, so little baby Savage here, he's the younger brother. We got Fred and Ben Savage. So Ben Savage is he plays the younger brother. The whole time I'm like, oh my God, was he like 5 years old in this? Like, he was so young. So they claim that he was 8. And I have such a hard time believing that. And I just wanted to show you guys, like, do you guys think that Ben Savage was really 8 years old, or he was younger when they made this? Because I know they say, like, on all of his information, he's born in 1980. I have a really hard time believing that. And I'm wondering if there's like a difference in child labor laws, like at a certain point, like you can't have them act as long once it gets to a certain age, or they can't be on set for as many hours. And because Fred, his brother, was the star of it, and the parents really wanted to also, skyrocket Ben's acting career, I'm wondering if they kind of, lied about his age. Because I could kind of see that happening. Because like look how little he is. I have it right here actually. Yeah, look how little he is.
Hi, Kirsten.
That is like not an 8-year-old, I feel like. This is a bad example. I wanted to show you guys the interview that I saw him on last night. Obviously, that's Fred, his older brother, who's like around 10 or 11, I think. But yeah, little Ben Savage is supposed to be like 8. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy, but there's we had it on. Actually, I have it over here. Oh. So if you guys ever see the collector's Blu-ray edition of this, there's an interview with Ben Savage, and they keep asking him about his age and stuff, and he feels like he keeps correcting them, and I don't know. I just thought it was a little scandalous, but yeah, this is it's a fun time, but it is like, in hindsight, like the screenplay is like really messed up, but it's a fun time. So here we go. I can't believe I'm holding this camera still. Anyway, I'm going to stop that and go back over here. Let's see here. Everyone's saying hi. I definitely would love to join you on here one day, Tracy. Check for sure. Absolutely. Have you seen Fatally Killer? No, have you seen it? Because I really want to know if it's good. It looks like right up my alley. I think I'm not sure if it's a parody or it's just trying to be like an 80s slasher film. So that's cool though. I definitely want to check it out if it's good. I keep seeing the poster everywhere. Agreed, Little Monsters is terrifying. Yes. Hi, Mike. How's it going? That is a Savage Kids film. Any scary movies you're craving this season still? Yes, I still need to see Pearl, like I said. I want to see Malignant, and I want to see Cobweb, Cobweb's not available till October 20th for me to stream it. So in a couple of days, I'll be able to watch Cobweb because I've heard great things. Yes, it was physical media. There is a very small collection. Yes, and this is Max's. His collection's quite large. It's just all hidden in a thing under my TV. And if I had more space again, I would start collecting more. Oh, have you guys heard that Best Buy is no longer going to have physical media in their stores? Because that's a big scandal. I really can't believe that. I get that a lot of people buy their stuff online, but like I just think that's really sad that we're not getting that anymore. I'm actually going to check. I'm going to go on to the next story, but I'm just going to check and see if there's any updates. No updates yet from John. He still has plenty of time, but I just wanted to see if he had any updates about his Wi-Fi. But anyway, and then when he comes on and I play the intro for him, I can fix my camera, so that'll be great. Okay, so we have to say hi to who just showed up? Josh from Through the Lens. Yes. Hello. Everyone's saying a Malignant is amazing. Yeah, cool. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this other thing up really quick because I thought this was just awesome. So I don't know if you guys are excited for Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm incredibly excited, and this has to do with that. I'm going to definitely be, I think I'm seeing it, yeah, I'm seeing it this weekend for sure. But recently on Twitter, or X, I should say, so Martin Scorsese says the pacing of Killers of the Flower Moon is inspired by Ari Aster's films. I very much like the style of and pacing of good horror films like Ari Aster's Midsommar or Beau is Afraid. And like, that's just so awesome to me because I'm a big fan of both of those movies. And I love that he is looking at other genres and looking at how they're paced and kind of is using that as a format to, or like a blueprint on how to pace his film, because his film is definitely, I mean, yes, it's horrific, the events, but it's not a stereotypical horror movie. It's definitely a drama, thriller, historical, biopic in a sense. So I love that he said this, and I like that he's really current with like filmmakers and what they're doing. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't know how about you guys. Are you guys excited about Killers of the Flower Moon? Because I'm very, very, very excited. I guess I'll leave this up here for a bit. Okay. Watched Anatomy of a Fall the other day, and it's contender. Yes, Past Lives is on top, but this is a close second or third. I'm so excited to see Anatomy of a Fall. And actually, one of the reasons why I'm so excited to have my guest on today is he went to Tiff. So he saw a lot of films. And I'm really excited to see. He actually saw Killers of the Flower Moon, and I'm going to be asking him about that because he did post a review on his channel. And I'm sure everyone in the chat would love to hear his thoughts on that film. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be asking him a bunch of stuff about those types of films. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Agreed, more concerts as well as Broadway shows should make it to theaters. The masses deserve to see as many are worthy of a wider audience than just those in New York or Chicago. Can't wait to see Wicked. I agree with you. And I'd like to ask you, do you have, I don't have this app, but I know that it exists. And it's called Broadway HD. And I think there you can actually watch like all these Broadway shows that have been filmed throughout the years. And I think it's kind of, they have a pretty large selection. So that would be, maybe would work out well for you if you're interested in seeing those, because I agree. And I actually should have that app because I miss out on, like, they have like, when they're reviving Spam-A-Lot, but they have like, you can watch Spam-A-Lot when Tim Curry and David Hyde Pierce and Hank Azaria were in it. It's like a really great historical catalog of all those Broadway shows. So that might work out. Did I just skip something? Yes, I did. It's unfortunate that Best Buy is done selling movies. That's the main reason why I go shopping for them. Yeah, I agree. It's a shame. And it's fun to just like go to the store to even see what they have and pick up the boxes. And that's no longer happening, it turns out. Should see Flower Moon next week, hopefully. Yes, I'm very excited. And I'd love to know your thoughts through the lens. And I don't mind that it's 3.5 hours long at all. It really doesn't bother me. I felt, and I'll tell you, the creator wasn't that long, and it felt like it was 4 hours long to me. So, I think that it really just has to do with the pacing. Been a watcher of the FilmDrunk for a few years now. Oh, that's lovely. I'll star this so he can hear about it. Oh, he made it. I think his Wi-Fi is working, so that's fantastic. I'm gonna play his little intro video, and then and as I do that, I'm gonna make sure my camera doesn't fall over again because my cats are devils. So yeah, so that's great. I'll bring this up.
Is there alcohol in this?
Oh, God, honey, no. What kind of mother do you think I am? Why do you want a little bit? Because if you're going to drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Make it Suntory time.
Hi.
Hello. Can you hear
How
me?
are you? Yes, I can hear you.
All right. That was crazy timing because the Wi-Fi they said was going to be out for like another 3 hours, but
Oh no.
I guess it works now. I guess so. Good timing.
Oh, that's perfect. And actually, as you were joining us, yeah, there's a someone in the chat that said he's been following you for years now.
Oh, nice.
So that's great.
Shout out to
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I got some fans. So welcome. I'm so excited that you're here for so many reasons. I was telling everyone in the chat that I'm pretty positive I discovered your channel during last year's award season, and I loved all the content you were putting out. And if anyone in the chat wants to, I mean, you all should subscribe to his channel. The information is in the description down below. As you were recently at Tiff, so I'd love to get, I know you've probably talked about this to death, but I'd love to get kind of your opinion on like some of the takeaways of the films you saw while you were there.
Sure. Yeah, I went to TIFF for about a week, which is always just way too long, and you see way too many movies. But I think from TIFF, I think some of the main movies people are interested in was Anatomy of a Fall and Zone of Interest, which actually they just dropped their trailer today. So for a lot of people, those were like the first two movies that you saw at TIFF. And Anatomy of a Fall for sure was my favorite from TIFF. I think that one is pretty incredible. Now, albeit I am a huge crime thriller courtroom drama person, so that's not too surprising. The Zone of Interest, I'm very curious on how general audiences will take that movie because it is pretty experimental. It's not very accessible. I cannot imagine like my parents watching that movie. Oh my god, they would absolutely fall asleep. But I guess those are the two ones that most people talked about for sure.
I'm actually, so I apologize. I just have to switch my battery really quick.
No, go for it. Go for it.
And I didn't even ask you because this is what I should have done. I think I was just excited that you showed up because I was worried about everything. So
Yeah.
you can tell, I'm going to put you large on the screen and you can
Okay.
tell everyone kind of a little bit about you and your channel and what, got you into critiquing films and things like that.
Sure. Yeah. I started this channel during the COVID lockdown because that's when I graduated. I was working at Apple, like the store. So I was very fortunate to have a job where they just said, stay home, like we'll continue to pay you. So in the meantime, I was writing for some film site. I did like 2 articles. And I basically just said, if I want this to be a hobby, I feel like I could do it better myself. And writing isn't exactly where I want to be. So I have experience with video editing already. I'm pretty comfortable on camera. So I just started a channel. I didn't tell anybody. And I chose the name FilmDrunk just because, at least from talking to my friends and a lot of people now, is that a lot of people view people like critics and everything as like insanely pretentious and out of touch. And I like to think my taste is in between critics and general audiences. So I wanted a name to imply that, hopefully it'll be a little different. If you see in my videos, you know that I'm very loose with it. I try to be at least the most entertaining I can and not over talk. I don't think a lot of reviews need to be 35 minutes long, especially if there are no spoilers. So things like that. But I guess you could say my channel really took off during the Oscar race during that same 2020 season with like Nomadland winning and everything like that. So I covered that certainly, but really just anything movie related in a way that's hopefully not too boring for people. So I've been doing that for a couple years as a side, and I guess people seem to like it. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna just
No, you're good.
switch to my other camera.
I know the pain. I've done it. You're
yeah.
good.
There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm using the camera on my laptop. Yeah, I've been like filming with my camera a lot, and I filmed a wedding recently, and all my gear is kind of all over the place. So,
Yeah.
No, that's really awesome. And I don't think anyone is certainly bored at all with your videos. I mean, they're really fun and they're really fast paced and like informative. And like your passion for film, I feel like really comes out tremendously. So yeah, that's one of the things I love about your channel. And I'm glad you brought up the whole critics thing. Because when I saw Strays, it was during like the time frame when critics would see it. Like the entire theater was really critics,
Yeah.
and I couldn't believe, like, regardless if you like the film or you don't, I couldn't believe how many of the critics showed up like 20 minutes into the film, and how many critics
Oh wow.
left early. And it's like, okay, that might not be your cup of tea, and you just want to critique artsy films, but like this is your job, and I think that
Right.
like, there's a lot of people that would, kill to be a film critic, that are really passionate about that and
Right.
get paid to do that. So,
Yeah.
and I think, what do you think? Do you think that, because there is the whole thing of when you critique movies on YouTube and you don't want to have any copyright issues for showing clips of the movies, I feel like it would behoove studios to allow critics, on YouTube to show clips if they, I think it would benefit them, because I think more people are turning to YouTube than they are reading anything on Rotten Tomatoes and things. And obviously people still use Rotten Tomatoes, but I just think that like YouTube film critics are more of the future of where things are going.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, totally agreed. I mean, I think it's always kind of ridiculous if I get claimed on like some reviews because it technically falls under fair use anyways. But yeah, people engage with criticism differently now. Most people don't go on and read like huge long articles anymore. So I do think kind of video with that's just that's the way it goes, I think, for the future for sure. The engagement's just different.
Yes, sorry. I thought I was on the whole time and I wasn't. I apologize.
That's okay. That's all
Uh,
right.
yes, no, I 100% agree with all of that. So it's great. I did see that the Zone of Interest trailer did hit today. I'm so excited to see it. I'm going to be watching it later this evening. Okay, and so all the things that I kind of wanted to unpack with you. We'll get to your. You did see Killers of the Flower Moon recently, and I know a lot of people are excited to hear what your thoughts are on that. I have like a. I know you saw Beau is Afraid.
Hmm.
So I know that movie is like way too strange, I think, for any type of Oscar nomination. But
Yeah.
but no one is talking about Patti LuPone as Best Supporting Actress, and I'm so shocked that she's not even in the conversation. Because as soon as I saw that movie, I was like, oh, she's definitely going to get a nomination for Best Supporting Actress, because I thought she was incredible in it. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it yourself. Is that I mean, that movie is incredibly strange. I mean, even for what I was expecting, I was like, whoa, he really went for it, which I respect. I don't even love the movie like that. I like it for the most part, but that's just the deal with these Oscar campaigns. Is one, the studio has to believe in you. The release date, for the most part, matters. I know that's changed a little bit, but that can show some confidence. And even though the academy is without a doubt changing, with everything everywhere winning and everything like that, there's still a lot of people that are pretty put off by movies like that. I mean, even with everything everywhere, that was just a huge talking point for months, was that there's a dildo fight scene and there's hot dog fingers, which I get why it's skeptical to be like that. But if the movie is too strange, it came out too earlier in the year, it's really hard to sustain things, I guess you could say.
Yes, I can see that, and I'm really hoping that certain films that did come out, like Past Lives, which I absolutely love. It's my favorite so far of the year. I hope that, I mean, there's so many incredible films coming out in the future, and a lot that you've already seen. I hope that Past Lives doesn't. I hope it still remains in people's mindsets when it comes to voting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it will. I think it will. That is certainly a pretty heavy critics pick and can use that push. And at least for as of now, where the strike for the actors is going on for who knows how long. I mean, Past Lives does have an interim agreement, so they can go out there. They can actually campaign for it, which I hate to say that matters because, it should just be on quality of the movie, but it does. That's the game, and they can. So I think Past Lives is in a pretty good spot for the Oscar consideration.
Yes, I'm really hoping so. And I for Best Actress, I would love Greta Lee to get a nomination, but I think it depends on a few different factors. But I would love to see her up there because I thought she was just incredible.
Yes.
This is a question for you. I'm going to put this up here. Have you seen the film Columbus? It's very much like Past Lives in terms of the way it goes with a meditative look into areas and where we are from.
Yeah, I've seen Columbus. I mean, that's a pretty good one too. I mean, I guess, yeah, I would certainly agree with that. Past Lives certainly, I think, hits a little bit stronger than Columbus, which, that's not Columbus's point. That's not its reason. But yeah, I have seen Columbus. That's a good one for sure.
One film we are looking forward to is Ava DuVernay's film Origin. I heard it received great reviews.
Yeah, yeah. Origin played there. I saw it with a group of people. It's pretty It's more divisive than people think. I will say personally, I didn't really care for it, but I know someone who was like, that was the best film I saw that festival.
Okay.
So I'm really curious on what everyone thinks of Origin once it opens, because even the people who really like the movie can understand it, and vice versa. It's a very different movie than what I expected from her. But yeah, it's interesting.
Have they solidified a release date for that yet? Because I haven't seemed to have found when it's going to release on my end, but I haven't checked in a bit.
No, I don't think they've confirmed a date. But they did say that they will release it this year because they do want it to qualify for awards. I mean, obviously that can change. I mean, we just saw the bike riders get delayed, even though they still intend on releasing it this year. But who knows? As of now, they will release it this year.
Okay, cool. Hey, FilmDrunk, any Oscar snubs that have hit you deep?
Gosh, I mean, there's just so many. I don't even know what to say about that.
That's true.
I guess recently, this was a really small movie, so I get it. But there was a movie called Mass in 2021. It's filmed almost like a play, which I know some people don't care for. I really don't mind it. But it was about two sets of parents kind of involved in a school shooting. One set of parents was the parent of a victim, and the other was the parents of the shooter, which I know sounds like a crazy heavy topic, which it no doubt is. It doesn't show anything. It's just the talk of, like, if you can imagine that situation, which I guess is a real thing. That was like an incredibly powerful movie, and without a doubt had some of the best performances I've seen in a couple years. One of them, Ann Dowd, who you might have seen in just Exorcist Believer most recently. She was particularly incredible. Got a few nominations at like the BAFTAs and stuff, but that movie was just too small, too heavy for people. So that one is a lesser known one. And then you get to the obvious ones like Jake Gyllenhaal and Nightcrawler just getting dusted. But yeah.
Yeah, and the premise of Mass that you were just describing seems like a much more intense version of Carnage, which was a film that was an adaptation of a play. Polanski had done it, and it was with Jodie Foster and Christoph Waltz and John C. Reilly, and I forget who.
Oh, right. Yeah. I know what the movie you're talking about. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. It seems very similar. Obviously, it's more about bullying, like the kids getting into a fight in school, and it's not a mass shooting. But it is that, like, the two sets of parents discussing that. So, yeah, very cool. I would love to check out Mass. I watched the BAFTAs was it last year or two years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Saw a Tiff film called Fair Play, and it's one of the best of the year for me. It's an extremely harrowing but excellent film about gender roles and relationship strains. I haven't heard of that one.
Oh yeah, it's on Netflix now, so everyone can check it out. I saw it at Sundance. It's certainly a good one. I'm not sure if I completely love the ending. I think it gets a little bit too wrapped up in its messaging, a little too heavy-handed. But the performances are fantastic, and I can see why a lot of people really love it. So Alden Ehrenreich, his comeback year, I guess, is this year. So that's a good one.
Very cool. KOTFM is like 50% of the reason I'm still holding on to life.
Yep.
I don't know what KOTFM is. Did I miss?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Well, you only have a few more days, and then
I
you're
know.
good.
I'm so excited. So actually, that would be a good segue into your thoughts. I did watch your review, which was really fantastic. If anyone wants to see the FilmDrunk's full review, it's on his channel. But what would you? I don't know. Obviously, we don't spoil anything, but
Yeah.
a brief,
Yeah. I think it's what you expect from that. I'm happy to say that the length doesn't really bother me. That's one where I said in my review, for long movies, I wouldn't say this one like flies by where you're just like completely wrapped up in it, but you're never bored, and the pacing's there, the performances are all there. It's really strong, well acted performance, and with that subject matter, I get why the length is that long, because you obviously want to do it justice. You don't want to cut corners on anything like that. Pretty engaging. I'm pretty interested to see what my friends will think, because I think they want to see it this weekend, just because it is not as commercial as the trailers make it seem. Which, shout out to the marketing team. Every single trailer is a banger, but that's not exactly the tone of the movie. It is, I mean, I think you probably saw the tweet of the pacing and what it's similar to. That's pretty accurate. That is pretty accurate. Whereas the trailers make it seem like this, like The Departed, Wolf of Wall Street, like it just insanely, like those pace movies. It's not that, but I think it is pretty fantastic, and I think it'll be even better on a rewatch for me now that I've kind of sunk in the whole story of it all, because it's a lot for sure.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up that tweet, because I actually pulled it up on this stream earlier about the pacing being like Midsommar and Beau is Afraid.
Yeah.
I love Scorsese. I like that he's so open to new directors, and he's constantly learning. And one of the saddest things I ever heard him say was he's like really sad that he's coming to the end of his life, because he feels like he just started to understand how to make a movie.
So sad. It's such a brutal line, but yeah.
Let's see. Got a very talkative chat here. Oh my goodness, here we are. I'm so glad this was brought up, because I really want to see American Fiction, and I'd love to know what your thoughts were.
Yeah, that was an insanely funny movie, like way funnier than I thought it was going to be. Now, I am always a little hesitant, because like you are at a film festival that was the world premiere, so you're surrounded by people who are just as amped as you, and when your theater experience is great, I think that can reflect off the movie sometimes a little too much. But having said that, I think this is an insanely witty and smart movie. I think some people have some questions about the ending of it all, or if it goes too much into satire, but I think it's great. I think it was certainly a surprise for me when it won Tiff People's Choice, because I saw with a big group of people, as soon as we left, we all pretty much uniformly enjoyed it, but we also didn't see like Oscar, like Best Picture stuff that it's being talked about now that it won. So yeah, I'm interested to see how people plays. I want to see it again. Hopefully, if I see it in like a press screening, because for whatever reason, press, they just don't want to laugh. I want to see like how it really plays, or if just everyone around me laughing made me like the movie more, or if it really is just that good. So love to see it, but I really recommend it though. You should go see it.
Yeah, that's great. I love Jeffrey Wright so much. Do you think there's a potential for him to get a nomination?
Yeah, for sure. On the surface, it doesn't seem like something they'd go for, because he is playing a rather, stoic straight man with just some comedic bits, and not comedic in like a Ryan Gosling as Ken, where it's so in your face. So on the surface, I wouldn't really think so, but if the movie is that strong, I just feel like he kind of has to come along with it. So we'll see. He's certainly in a good spot though.
Yes. Okay. So I'm so glad that was answered. People are talking about Anatomy of a Fall and stuff, which I'm very excited to see. Both we talked about those as well. What are your thoughts on Napoleon? Because I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were, why it hasn't been showcased in any festival thus far. Because it looks amazing. Like the trailer is so fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah. I mean, from what I've gathered is that Apple just sees it as a commercial play. Like certainly for them, they think a lot of people will go to the theaters for it. They're certainly marketing it that way as this big event with Joaquin Phoenix, Ridley Scott. I mean, in the trailer, they show like 10 films that he's directed. So they're really pushing him in the movie. That's really the main reason why that wouldn't go at a festival. And plus, I heard it also wasn't ready exactly because they were finishing a lot of visual effects. So, that just happens. There's movies for whatever reason that just skip the fall festivals. I mean, Babylon skipped the festivals. People can say that's a referendum on its quality. I don't really think so, at least for this one. Ridley Scott, a little hit or miss,
Yeah.
I guess. So you never know. But like, I really liked The Last Duel. Didn't care for
Right.
House of Gucci that much. They came out in the same year. I'm with you though. I think Napoleon looks pretty good and certainly has potential below the line at the very least.
I'm so anticipating that weekend in the box office and the reception for Napoleon. Actually, I always joke about this, like how Barbenheimer was a thing. I want to do Napoleon-wish. So seeing Napoleon and Wish the same day.
But yeah, that is pretty good double programming. Like a family animated kids one, and then this epic drama.
Yes.
I can see it. I can see it for sure.
Did you wind up ever doing Barbie and Oppenheimer on the same day?
Yeah,
You did.
I did.
So did I.
I did.
Yeah.
You got to. How could you not? Theaters were insane that day. It was pretty cool to see.
It
And then
was.
the whole industry shut down because of strikes. But it was
Yeah.
good while it lasted.
I was surprised. Obviously, we knew people were going to dress up. I saw so many groups of people dressed up in pink for Barbie, but I was surprised I saw so many people dressed up as Oppenheimer.
Oh, really? Dang, full suit and everything. The
Yes.
hat. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's cool.
That was so fun.
Yeah, me and my friends had a wardrobe change. We saw Oppenheimer at like 12. We all dressed in black and then went home, changed, put on pink, and then saw Barbie at night.
Oh, that's
So
fun.
I'll have to do that.
That's the way to do it too. You have to do
Yeah.
Oppenheimer first.
I completely agree. I can't believe people said do Barbie first.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy to me, but whatever.
This is I believe, a snub. Yes. Beale Street should have gotten a Best Picture nom. I was mad when that didn't get in. Should have won score too.
Yeah, that was a pretty disgusting Oscar year in my opinion. Just the Green Book, Bohemian Rhapsody of it all. I just personally can't get behind those ones. But yeah, Beale
No.
Street, throw it in there. I mean, First Man got dusted for nothing.
Yeah.
Hereditary, which would obviously get nothing, but yeah, that's a bleak year in my opinion.
It was a very bleak year. I was really disappointed that Black Klansman didn't get more because I really liked that film from that year.
Yeah.
And I always say, if I was Spike Lee, I would have walked out too when they announced Best Picture.
Yeah, exactly. He was very, very cordial with his response about that.
Yeah. This is Dell. He has a great channel. My theater also had people in full Oppenheimer gear, 3-piece suits and hats. Yeah, that's fun.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah, I was thrilled. I mean, I had some criticisms of Barbie, but in general, I loved that entire weekend was so packed at the theater. I think we love when the box offices do well. So that was really great.
Yeah.
Napoleon doesn't appeal too much. The last few Ridley Scott movies have put me to sleep, but I hope that doesn't do that. You can't, but every director doesn't nail it out of the park every time,
Yeah.
And studios get involved and
Right. Yeah, he's already working on like a 4-hour cut that'll be on Apple. So it's just it's nuts. It's nuts.
Yes, and I'm kind of I'm fine with that because I know Kubrick always wanted to do Napoleon as a series. So, and I think they're still going to be doing something with that. I think Spielberg's involved because he still has all of Kubrick's notes from from when he was planning that.
Oh,
So
dang.
that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm just happy Napoleon isn't delayed.
Oh, me
Like
too.
we just need some bigger movies to keep the box office somewhat afloat, especially since no one can promote it. So
I know. And so I've brought this up a lot on my channel that I think the dumbest thing I've ever seen was the delay of Dune 2. And I know it was trying to make some type of statement for the strike, but I think it really didn't. And I think it just kind of, what are your thoughts on like why they did that and you know,
yeah. I don't even know. I mean, because if they make the play that they delayed it because the actors couldn't promote it, then it's like, well, there's a solution. There's a solution for that that you can control.
yeah.
So, and if they didn't think that they would get the strikes done in time to promote it, and then also the date that they delayed it to is very strange. I don't understand a March
No.
release date. I think that's like the week after or during the Oscars, and
Mm,
releasing it in March also is just Dune. I don't know. Maybe people disagree, but I like when I think of Dune, I think of like fall, like, or at
yeah.
least at the very least like a summer blockbuster. A March release date is really strange. So I don't know what they're thinking of that is at all, but
It's weird too because it's a part two. It's not like it's the first one. That like,
right.
you know, it's like it kind of already sold itself, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, which is why, like, that wasn't going to festivals even before the strikes, really, or at least from what I understand, because it
Yeah.
didn't think it needed to. Right, the first one did because it needed to prove itself in the box office. People were legitimately excited for it. The Barbenheimer momentum was there, and then they delayed it, and then here we go. Sad.
Yes, and I'm sure you experienced the same thing where almost every actually I think every single movie I saw over the summer always came with a Dune trailer attached to it. So it's like you guys got the word out already. You don't have to worry about people showing up.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the Dune trailer like recently, like a few weeks ago, and then it still had the coming out in November.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
heard someone in the row in front of me be like, "Oh, we should see that." And it's like, "Oh my god, like this is just so sad." Like they don't even know that it's delayed until like March. So
No,
huge
no.
bummer.
It's really it's interesting that you said that because I find stuff like that all the time, and that's kind of why I started doing a series where I ask people around New York about what they saw. And I have to tell you, one of the hardest answers to get out of people, and I don't put it in the videos, is what are you looking forward to seeing? Because they're always like, I don't know what's coming out, you know, because
Yeah.
that's just we're like when you're into it like we are, it's like you know everything that's coming out for the next 6 months.
Right. Right.
But to the average person, they're like, oh, I don't know what is coming out. And I've had to like tell people sometimes, like, oh, you got this, there's this. And they're like, oh, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's a good series to do, especially if you're in New York. I can't imagine the answers if I did it here in Arizona. They'll
you're
just
in
be like,
Arizona?
"Yeah, I'm in Arizona," so I can't even imagine what the answers would be. It'd probably make me lose my mind. But
No,
yeah.
that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I tried to. My next idea was to go outside of a theater and ask people what they saw. I circumstantially I was at the wrong one because I wanted to get some footage of the New York Comic Con
Mm,
and ask people there, and then the whole day got kind of screwed up, so I didn't have time. But I was already there at the tail end, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go see. I think I saw 10.
mm.
And so I was like, well, you know, I have my camera and everything, and my boyfriend films everything. So I was like, we'll just do it in front of the Regal here. And it was like in like the Times Square area
Oh,
on
wow.
42nd Street. And it was just too chaotic. Like people were in
Sure.
and out so fast. It's not the normal theater that I go to. I usually stay out of Times Square as much as possible. So,
Sure.
but I did get a lot of people exiting the theater that said, they hated The Exorcist. I've never seen people walk out of a movie like that. Like what did you see? They're like The Exorcist. Did you like it? It was awful. Like I couldn't believe it. And I didn't see the movie.
Dang.
I didn't see The Exorcist.
Brutal.
I heard it's awful, but
Yeah. Yeah, pretty bad. I'll keep it at that, pretty bad. I think I have, like, the top review on Letterboxd for The Exorcist Believer, and it's just
really,
the reviews are just dunking on it. I almost feel bad
wow.
at some point. But yeah, bad. Movie
I,
bad.
I've heard that the director, like, because he's been interviewed a lot, and that he comes off as like really genuine and passionate about the project. And I haven't seen the movie, so Is it the studio influence? Is it a bad script that seems good at the time? Was it the editing? There's so many factors. But what do you think? What do you think that it kind of went wrong?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm giving him too much credit if I say, the studio influenced him to do something. I mean, that's certainly possible because when they bought it, they did buy it for a trilogy. That was always been known, and I knew that going in. But like when you see it, like some of it is almost just laughably bad. And I know people who are like huge fans of the original Exorcist, they'd probably be upset at some of the choices made, which as a youngin, like I'm not like holding on to the first Exorcist like that tightly, but even then it's just I don't know. I really don't know what they do with that. I've never been a fan of David Gordon Green's
Mm,
Halloween trilogy either.
no. Yeah.
So I already had low hopes, but this was just rather soulless, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's really fair. And you're right. They did purchase the rights to do a trilogy, and they paid Universal paid was it Warner Brothers or Universal?
Universal.
Universal. Yeah, they paid $400 million.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Universal and Blumhouse did that deal, so pretty nuts.
Okay, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think we will ever get another Barbenheimer level hit?
Uh
I've been pushing the
sure.
Napoleon thing, so I know that's not gonna, it's not gonna go. But
Yeah, that could be like a little you know, like a lower boneless
right.
Barbenheimer, but I I won't say that it's not impossible. I do think people are trying to like force or studios are trying to force it a little bit too
Yeah,
much with like the whole Saw Patrol thing, which might
right.
be funny at first, and then when you see like 5 tweets from Paramount Pictures about it, it starts to get a little cringy.
Oh, that's
But
sad.
yeah, you just I don't know, you need like actual like top tier auteur filmmakers making projects that people are interested about for it to even start. With all due respect to Paw Patrol, I don't think that's on the same level as Barbie.
No, well, and I think Paw Patrol is a great example because I always say like there's really intelligent children's films that
Yeah,
are also made for adults. But then
yeah,
you get to like the really, really young demographic, like for babies, and that's what like Paw Patrol's for babies, in my opinion. Once you
yeah,
hit like 7 years old, you're over Paw Patrol,
yeah.
or six,
Right, right.
So it's hard to do like to get the same demographic that's gonna go see Saw to go also see Paw Patrol.
Yeah, like I was gonna do like a vlog of me doing Saw Patrol, and then I really thought about it, and I just said, I just don't want to do it. Like, I just really don't even want to do it. I don't know how I can make it funny, anyways. So
Yeah,
yeah, Napoleon has a better shot for
I,
sure.
I hope so. You can join me in the revolution of getting them
Okay, all right.
together. Yeah. Would I guess would like to see a movie series on Napoleon. I know it was attempted in 1927, and the one movie that was made was over 4 hours long. Wow. Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, I think people are interested in Napoleon. He's not really. He hasn't. We haven't really shown him a lot in any of our historical dramas or anything like that.
yeah,
Um, so uh, the Dune release delay just smacks of studio interface and or panic led to the strike. Or yeah, I think that's a typo, but
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, which is weird because I know someone who saw a test screening of Dune 2, and he like told
really,
me about it, and then and then it just like got delayed, and everything just happened, and it was so fast. It
wow.
happened so fast.
Dune 2 was silly. People didn't need actors to sell them on it. Yeah, the first movie did already do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Dune will come out in snow season for me. I will see Dune looking at heat than leaving in snow. Yes, it is more of a summer fall movie. I would agree with you there.
yeah.
Cool. Oh, a meme dies when a company chimes in with their own versions. Okay, yeah, I think that's referring to what you were saying about this Saw Patrol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So my next thing I wanted to get into Okay, so when it comes to the next this current Oscar season, things like that, do you think that the expectations for Barbie have kind of went down a little bit because of all these new films? Because obviously TIFF happened after the premiere of Barbie. You had the Venice Film Festival. I mean, I'm really excited for Poor Things. I don't know if you've seen it, but I
Not
kind of
yet.
feel like at maximum there'll be like production design, maybe screenplay, but I could see other things getting in there for screenplay. There's other movies I'd prefer, but people are still kind of thinking that Ryan Gosling as Ken might get in there. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you're, I guess both right in the sense that I think some movies certainly have come in and made its name known. I mean, you mentioned Poor Things. That, at least from what I hear, that seems to be the new talk of the town. Basically, that's the one that could really upset things. But I guess to the point of Dune 2 leaving is that now Barbie is pretty clearly Warner Brothers' priority. And I know The Color Purple comes out, but the marketing is kind of just ramping up. It's a really late release date. I think
Right.
it's clear that Barbie is their number one. Barbie is to that point like Top Gun Maverick last year, where it was just too big to ignore.
Mm.
And while other ones have certainly come in, and maybe Barbie isn't like a top 3 anymore, I still think it's pretty safely in there. If this was a year of 5, only 5 Best Picture nominees, I actually do think Barbie would be one of the 5, which I know would upset a lot of people, but that's just how it is sometimes.
I agree with you at the Top Gun Maverick. You know, I think it definitely, you have to recognize a film to a certain degree that does bring people to the theater so much. It's kind of like when Avatar last year was nominated for Best Picture. I don't really think did it win a couple of technical awards? I'm not positive. I'm sure it did.
I think one
But it
visual
didn't,
effects.
right. So it didn't really, get anything else. But because it was so huge at the box office, certain movies like that, that's absolutely how I feel about Barbie as well. Um, have you seen Saltburn?
No, I see Saltburn in like 2 weeks, maybe.
I'm so excited for that movie.
Yeah, oh, I can't wait for that one. That's like my most anticipated for the rest of the year. I can't
Yeah,
wait for that one.
really excited for that. I think the next one that I'll be able to see without trying to do like any early stuff will be The Holdovers. And you saw that, right? Or you haven't seen it?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it at
Okay.
TIFF.
What did
Yeah,
you think?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I I really did love it. I mean, that's the most like old school Oscar movie I feel like that's in this kind of race right now. That is absolutely one that if you showed it to your parents, they'd probably eat it up. It is basically a Christmas movie. It's like Dead Poet Society, except not as tragic. So I think it's a really easy movie to like, I guess. So
Okay.
I really liked it. I was waiting for a scene to take it from like, oh, this is really good to great. And then I got that uh by the end, I guess you could say without spoiling it. So I'm actually seeing it again tomorrow. I'm just
Oh,
like
that's awesome.
rewatching it. Yeah. So
I
that's a really good
noticed.
one.
Yeah, I noticed the actress in it. I watch Only Murders in the Building, and I know that she plays like the main investigator cop in that, and I really like her. I've heard she's
Oh,
phenomenal in
right.
the movie.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I totally forgot that she was in Only Murders in the Building. Yeah, she's fantastic. She's really fantastic. She might get a nomination for that for sure.
Yeah. So I want to switch gears a little bit
Yeah.
to because it is spooky season.
Okay.
Are there any horror films that you've seen recently that you would recommend, or ones to stay away from? And I'll be right back. I'm just going to fix a technical issue, but I'll be right back.
Sure. Um, gosh, some horror movies that it's funny. I actually just watched the original Exorcist in theaters at the beginning of the month. That was the first time, which is I know sounds insane for some. I just haven't got around to it. I saw they're bringing it back for theaters, so what a better way to experience that than in the theater? So obviously that one. I mean, honestly, horror this year hasn't been that great in my opinion. the only horror movie that I truly like love even is Talk to Me, which came out in like July. So because then you get like Exorcist Believer is obviously not good. Totally Killer on Prime is fun and I would recommend it, but it's not really anything more than that. Like no one will come away really being moved by Totally Killer, being like, holy shit. So I don't know. It's a bit of a dry spell for me in terms of horror, but I'll have to see. What have I recently watched on Letterboxd? I mean, I just saw Clue.
I loved Talk to Me for sure.
Yeah.
It was really, really fantastic filmmaking, and that budget was like $4 million.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were YouTubers.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy that they were able to do that.
I love that. Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Chris Stuckman because he just did his first film. I can't wait to see how that comes out. I really love him. I mean, he's one of the OGs. I've been watching him for years.
Right.
So it's nice when YouTubers that are really into filmmaking and they can use that as a platform to kind of help them, make their dreams come true. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah,
rooting for all of them.
Yes. That's great. Yeah, I love Talk to Me for sure. I think A24 is just killing it with everything they do. And and you did bring up the fact that past lives can actually have press during the award season because A24 was like, yeah, we'll just give you guys whatever you want. It's like that's great,
Yeah, exactly.
So I think they are going to be the ones thriving for quite a while, and might just totally change the game in general. How do you feel? Because I'm not like scared about it, but how do you feel about A24 announcing they want to do, more of a bigger like action IPs and things like that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it, honestly. Now maybe I'm being naive, but I'd like to believe that a brand like A24 wouldn't lose focus on what made them successful in the first place. There's been plenty of studios in the past that have put out good stuff, but they just run out of money because it is a business, and then they're basically non-existent anymore. So you certainly don't want that to happen to A24. As much as I respect Beau is Afraid, huge financial flop for them, and they can't handle flops like Disney can or Warner Brothers can. So I think if they bring back like a mid-budget like action franchise or a movie while also having these indies on the side, I mean, I see nothing wrong with that. And if anything, that would be a good kind of something on the side compared to all the like superhero movies that we also get. So
yes.
I'm down for it, honestly.
Could you imagine if A24 tried to do a superhero movie? I'd love that.
Yeah, I'm sure they would get like an actual real director and like give them creative freedom. So yeah, I'm about it.
Yes, all the drama over the Marvels, it sounds just like a nightmare, and I don't know if that's going to reflect in the box office. I couldn't believe how drastically they changed gears when it came to the new trailer that came out. That was much more action forward, much more like they got rid of like 90% of the comedy that they were really pushing in the first trailer. Because of the backlash and then all the comments from Nia DaCosta and things like that, who I don't think that if the movie fails, I don't really blame her at all. So,
I mean, I really I could make a whole video on this, but I really do sense like a shift in like movie going from audiences now. Like I really do think that people want other things now besides comic books and sequels that no one asked for. So, if these strikes weren't happening, I really think this would be like a really successful year, like for the box office, and like completely original movies, whatever you think that means, would have thrived more. But yeah, the Marvels, nothing good. I'm feeling the vibes aren't good on that one. So
yeah, and it just causes they've created. I feel like both DC and Marvel have created so much confusion for their own fan base of what they should be cheering for and watching, because they've been kind of disappointed, and then they've also been forced to be like, oh, well, if you miss this series, then you're going to miss out on that movie. And I think that that's not really, it doesn't help your audience want to, like, everything should be like, oh, you see Marvel come up on the screen and it happens not as often and it's more infrequent. And you're like, yes, it's going to be great. You know, like how it used to be, you know,
Right.
that excitement is just not there anymore. It's like, oh, okay, another one. All right. It feels like work now. It feels like homework.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I miss the days where it was like 2 Marvel movies a year. Like
Hmm.
that they felt big and important, like you have to see it opening weekend. And now like they sent me like the Loki season 2, like the first 4 episodes a few weeks ago. I just like with all due respect, I just like never saw it because
Yeah.
now I'm just like, oh my gosh, like how much more do I have to do? And then I see today like the Echo series, the Agatha Darkhold
Right.
Diaries series. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, there's no way this many people care about these that we have to see all of these. So the only thing to look forward to for Marvel in the future is apparently Secret Wars is their way to reboot, to soft reboot. That's the best idea I've heard from Marvel in years, if that is true.
Right.
So yeah,
Yes.
unfortunate.
I've been watching. So I didn't watch it was Secret Invasion. I think it was. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
not watch that because I heard it was
yeah,
awful.
yeah. I didn't see
Um,
that.
I have been watching Loki season 2 just because I do like the format of once a week. I think
Hmm.
that it works for certain shows really well, and
Yeah,
then other shows it's better if you binge them.
right.
But I'm enjoying it. I think that the creators of the Loki series in general, I don't think that season 1 is bad.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it's like the most amazing thing I've ever seen, but I think
right,
Loki's like one of people's favorite characters. So I
right.
think that there is more of people are a little bit more protective of that character when it comes to what they're putting out.
Yeah.
So
For sure. Yeah, people
yeah,
like Loki from like all I've heard it's like decent. It's just getting to a point where it's like, I mean, do
yeah,
I care about Loki like that much? And I'm no Marvel hater, like I promise. Like
yeah,
that is a huge part of my childhood. Even like I came out of Doctor Strange too, and I was like, well, this is great. Like I like Doctor Strange too, even when everyone else like didn't. So
right.
I'm no hater, but it's getting to a point where there's like no excitement anymore.
I enjoyed a lot of the Sam Raimi aspects of the second Doctor Strange. I
Yeah.
really liked it.
Yes, yeah.
That
Like,
one,
that's why I liked it. That's just why I
yeah.
liked it.
I think that the stuff with Wanda kind of was problematic because they set stuff up and other things, and then she's the villain and all this stuff. And I don't know if it was executed in the best way possible, but it was like there's definitely like a good. I think it's in the second act, I believe. I only saw it once, where it is just like straight up Sam Raimi like horror, you
Yeah.
know. And
There's
I
like a
thought that
chase
was
in like a
great.
hallway
Yeah,
and it's filmed. I was like, yo, why am I actually like nervous like right
right.
now?
Yes.
So yeah, little things like that, they should just let directors really have fun with it. But you know, I mean, we don't have to talk about the Marvel, but that's their whole problem with like the WandaVision showrunners didn't really know where it was gonna end. The Doctor Strange 2 writers didn't know how WandaVision was gonna end because they had to write it like simultaneously. Like
Yeah,
that's just there's too many like errors with that. It's too loose
it's
for a
too
whole
loose.
franchise like that. So
No one's communicating
right.
efficiently. And oh my goodness, I had, oh yes, it's funny that we got into this conversation because today is actually the anniversary of when Tony Stark passed
Oh yeah.
away
Oh yeah. That's right.
in 2023 because we all thought
Dang.
that was the farthest thing we could ever think of back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace. He never got to see Killers of the Flower Moon. It's really disappointing for him, but
That's true.
yeah. Marty wins again. He keeps winning against Marvel. So
Yeah, that's true. That's hilarious, actually. That should become a meme. You should make one.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, let's see. I just saw Talk to Me, and I really enjoyed it. Yes, that's fantastic. I'm happy you saw it. Alexander Payne is giving that old school 70s vibe, even the typeface. Yeah, the trailer is super 70s.
Yeah. From literally the first opening, like 100%. That's the vibe.
That's
From the
awesome.
first frame. That's what it is.
A24 presents Face Off 2. I think it's when we were talking about action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be down. I mean, they're doing Talk to Me too, right? So
Yes, they are.
franchise it.
And I think that, I know that some people are upset about that, but to me, I feel like Talk to Me is kind of already set up in that kind of like Scream, because
Yeah.
it is passed from different kids to
Yeah,
kids.
exactly. Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it makes
Super
sense.
easy to make sequels from that.
Absolutely. Let's see. In my opinion, Marvel's big mistake is insisting on keeping everything linked, requiring the viewer to know way too much history for each release. This is a chore for fans and a barrier to potential new viewers. I agree, and I think the last time I truly loved a Marvel film was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which was
Yeah.
James Gunn's sign off and have fun without me. That was he
Yeah.
really gave it to him with that. I
Yeah.
loved that movie.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So DC has the opposite problem,
Ugh.
where it's like it just doesn't even make sense now. Like now it's just confusing. Like at least Marvel, you understand. It's just too much. DC is like I don't even know. I don't even know who's who now. So
No
crazy.
idea. And
Nope.
every time James Gunn says anything about DC, it changes every week. And
Oh
it's
my
like, oh,
gosh,
did you
I
say like
know.
this 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, like Gal Gadot has lost the role of Wonder Woman and then gained it back like 5 times in the past few months. And I'm like, this is so confusing.
It's so confusing. I do like though still the Elseworld, as James Gunn calls it, because he's probably jealous that he can't do anything with them. But the Robert Pattinson Batman and Joaquin Phoenix Joker, and I'm so excited for both of the sequels, like Folie à Deux and then the Batman 2. I don't know if there's
Yeah.
a name for it yet, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's like clearly where they should focus their time on. Like it makes sense, standalone, incredible filmmakers. Well, Todd Phillips, Incredible's a bit strong for Todd Phillips, but I get it. Great
yeah.
actors, at least it has a style. But yeah, the like Aquaman 2 now, like the drama. I don't know if you read up on that
I
on
have.
set. I mean, like, oh my God, like what is what is happening? They should move Aquaman to March, dump that one, and then put Dune in December or something.
I agree
But
with you. Maybe they're
yeah.
just trying to like rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing.
I've watched that trailer so many times, just from either in the theater or when I first watched it, and it's just like, to me, it's one of the weakest trailers I've ever seen to get anyone interested.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like James Wan. I like James Wan a lot.
Yeah,
I think he has like a really good vision and style to him. But I don't know. Aquaman 2 is like tainted with everything now.
everything. Yeah, and I like the aspects that I like of the trailer. I'd say are the stuff with Black Manta. Like I think that that's shown really well.
Mhm.
But the tone of the film, like I don't know what tone they're trying to give. Like, is it a buddy cop movie? Is it, I mean, is it super serious? I just,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can't believe Nicole Kidman is like back for the sequel. I saw her, I was like, oh my God, she's back. Like they actually got her to agree to do this again. Like, wow.
she came out
So
of the AMC
yeah.
movie trailer.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see. I stopped caring for Marvel since Endgame. I was excited for Eternals because of Chloe Zhao, but it ended up being one of the worst ones, sadly. Okay, so I have a huge opinion on this, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I actually still haven't seen Eternals. I've seen every Marvel movie
Oh
except that
wow.
one. I still need to. I loved Nomadland. I think the issue is Marvel will be like, oh, this like indie film director did an Oscar-winning movie. Let's bring them on, or like let's bring and these people. It's so much more of a machine when you make a movie that's like so big studio, like the Marvel films. And I think that they're bringing in directors that don't necessarily like know what they're doing in that sense. It reminds me so much of when Mark Webb made 500 Days of Summer, and then they asked him to do The Amazing Spider-Man. And I think
Right.
that there should be like steps to being like, oh, here are the keys to the car on this one. Because there's
Yeah.
so much involved, and it's not really ever going to be like that director's film. It's going to be the studio's film at the end of the day.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, totally. I mean, it's not like with Ryan Coogler, they got very lucky with that because Ryan Coogler did go from an indie to Creed, which is a pretty big jump in its own. But even then, it's not as bound to the machine. Going
Right.
from Creed to Black Panther, which he somehow was able to do and have actual like vision and everything. Yeah, I think Marvel, they want directors that they can just like like mold and form. That's why like the Russo bros, no disrespect, but they felt like a perfect choice because
Yeah.
they're working in TV, all these seasons they have to connect, and they were open to whatever idea they have to do. But yeah, Chloe Zhao for I'm shocked you haven't seen Eternals. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, Eternals is all right. It's all right. I know some people really ride for that movie because it does genuinely try to do something different. But I know other people think it's like completely boring and a waste of time.
Well, to be fair, when the Eternals came out, I was in the middle of moving, so I think then that just kind of
Yeah.
delayed that, and then they didn't present it in what they normally do, which I'm actually happy with. They didn't present it as like you have to watch this, otherwise you're going to be like totally lost in everything moving forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to absolutely watch it at some point.
So do you know like spoilers for that movie?
No.
Okay, then I won't say anything.
Okay.
Then I won't say anything.
That's like the one movie I think that wasn't spoiled at all because I just didn't ask about it. I just,
Okay.
I heard what people said as far as if they liked it or not. But
Okay.
I'm gonna put someone with a take right here. I'm in the minority, but I loved Eternals because tonally it was different than the usual Marvel formula. Kind of tired of the comedy angle to most of their films. I'm down for a darker MCU.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it distinctly does feel pretty different from any movie in the MCU. I will 100% give it that. It's just, once again, because you're in the machine, without spoiling anything, I mean, it's almost been a meme now. For every Marvel project afterwards, everyone's like, why aren't they addressing this very big thing that happened in Eternals? Like, why is no one addressing that? And that's almost like the legacy of Eternals now. But it does strive for different things, which I appreciate. It's just sometimes it doesn't work.
Right. This is kind of what we were saying. Aquaman 2 looks so funny. A couple beers will make that essential viewing.
Yeah, gosh. Gosh.
Especially since we got no answers from The Flash, even though we were told we'd get a billion answers from The Flash.
Yeah, The Flash. Gosh, I hate that movie.
Oh.
That movie sucks. But did you like the first Aquaman?
I actually
You've never seen it?
no, I saw it.
Okay.
I felt that they tried to fit too many things into it that I didn't. I know I'm probably in the minority because I know people really like the first one. I felt like I didn't care enough because I was just thrown so many, like, I feel like they're in one spot here and then they're in the next one and you're supposed to care about all these things. And I kind of just wanted to focus more on him as
Yeah.
like as a character. But I didn't like hate it or anything like that. And I think I understand why, I think Jason Momoa does a good job as Aquaman and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious.
There are some people that don't even know that James Wan directed it, which is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
I was talking to some horror people recently, and they love James Wan, and they were like, I was like, well, he did Fast and the Furious. I forget which one it was. It was like 10 or 7 or something like that. And then he did, and then he
One of
did
those.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
like, I have no idea. And I was like, yeah, but like it's good that he's being asked to do these other projects.
Yeah.
I like that there's a new trailer that he just produced, and it's called it's a girl in the pool. I know it's I don't know if you saw it recently. He just produced it, and it's a horror movie that takes place in like a backyard pool, and it's really scary actually the way that I think it's a Blumhouse, but yeah, but I like him as well.
Yeah. Yeah, if Patrick Wilson is in the movie, there's like a 70% chance that James Wan is attached somehow.
Right.
So that's how you can tell.
True.
That's how you can tell.
I love Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, he's great.
Night Swim. Oh, thank you. Yes, Night Swim. That's the movie that it's called.
Night Swim. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, like literally the trailer just came out like last week, I believe.
Oh.
So.
Okay. I'll add it to the list.
Yes. We are getting towards the end here. Is there anything you want to promote coming up for yourself and your channel, or anything else? I can also put your letterbox and anything else you'd like in the description, but any videos or stuff you're looking forward to doing?
I mean, I just posted a review of Killers of the Flower Moon, which I know you mentioned. It is getting to award season, and since I'm in a couple different critics groups, I'm starting to get bombarded with a bunch of screenings. So just anything of, I don't know, high profile, I guess you could say, for the awards, you can just look out for it if I haven't reviewed it already. But besides that, I mean, just YouTube, Letterboxd, Twitter, X. It's just the Film Drunk, so pretty easy. But yeah, nothing really crazy to promote. Thanks for having me on. It was great.
Oh, well, it's been such a pleasure. I just want to put this up real quick because it's for you as well. Great stream, guys. Keep up the amazing work, Film Drunk. So,
Appreciate you.
yes. And Film Drunk, your breadth of knowledge abounds. Big fan.
Appreciate it.
Yes. So thank you again so much. And everyone in the chat, thank you so much for stopping by. And I'll see you all next time.